Welcome at A Boring History for Sleep. Like, comments, and subscribe.
Close your eyes, or, if you prefer, let them rest on the gentle mist rolling across the screen. Tonight, we are traveling to an island defined by the rhythm of the sea, the weight of ancient stone, and the quiet passage of centuries. We often think of England's history as loud. We think of the clash of swords, the shouting of kings, and the thunder of industrial factories. But tonight, we're going to look at the quiet spaces between those noises. We're going to listen to the history that sleeps in the soil. Take a deep breath. Let the weight of today fade away. Let us journey back to a time when England was just a whisper of green forests, shrouded in a timeless, heavy fog. Long before there were kings, there were the stones. Imagine standing on Salisbury Plain 4,000 years ago. The air is crisp. The only sound is the wind passing through the long grass. The people who built Stonehenge left no written records. They left no names, no battles, no laws. They only left their geometry. We do not know exactly why they hauled these massive sarsen stones across miles of rolling hills. Perhaps it was a temple. Perhaps it was a calendar to track the sun. Or perhaps it was simply a place to look up at the same night sky you're under right now and feel small. They dug ditches with the antlers of deer. They shaped the rock with nothing but harder rock. And then, having built something that would outlast empires, they vanished into the quiet fog of time. The stones remained, waiting silently in the rain. Centuries drifted by like clouds over the downs. Then came the Romans. They brought straight lines to a curved landscape. They marched across the hills, laying down stone roads that cut through the ancient forests. If you walk through the English countryside today, beneath the layers of tarmac and wild grass, those Roman roads are still there, holding the earth together. In the far north, they build a wall. Hadrian's Wall, 73 miles of stone, stretching from sea to sea. Imagine being a Roman soldier stationed there on a chilly autumn night. You are thousands of miles from the warm sun of Italy. You are wrapped in a wool cloak, watching the mist rise from the Scottish hills. You stoke the fire. You listen to the crickets. You wait for a battle that rarely comes. Eventually, Rome faded too. The soldiers marched away. The villas crumbled. The moss grew over the marble floors, turning Roman palaces back into quiet English meadows. After the Romans came the era of the woods. England became a land of small kingdoms, divided by vast, untamed forests. Sherwood, the Forest of Dean, the Weald. To walk from one village to another was to take a journey through a deep, green twilight. This was the time of the Anglo-Saxons. They were people of the soil and the seasons. Their lives were dictated by the rising and setting of the sun, the harvest of the wheat, and the firewood gathered for the winter. They lived in timber halls, warmed by central hearths. In the evenings, they would gather not to fight, but to listen to poets, scops, who told long, rhythmic stories over the crackle of burning oak. The language they spoke was heavy, rich, and full of the sounds of the wind and the sea. It was the ancestor of the words I'm speaking to you now. They called the world mid-dangered Middle-earth, a quiet space of warmth and light, surrounded by the vast, unknown dark. As the centuries rolled on, the landscape settled into a gentle pattern. Every few miles, a church tower would rise above the trees. For hundreds of years, the rhythm of English life was the rhythm of the church bells. They rang for morning prayers. They rang for noon. They rang to call the workers in from the fields as the sun dipped below the horizon. Generation after generation, people walked the same muddy paths, plowed the same fields, and looked out at the same gentle hills. Their histories weren't written in books, but in the shape of the hedges and the curves of the hillsides. It is a history built on patience, a history of small things, the slow growth of an oak tree, the wearing away of stone step, the steady, unchanging fall of the evening rain. Kingdoms rise and kingdoms fall. The kings and queens pass like shadows across a wall. But the island remains, quiet, still wrapped in its ancient coat of green and gray. The roads are quiet now. The stones on the plain are resting under the stars. The forests are sleeping, and it is time for you to sleep too. Let the history wash over you like the tide against the cliffs. The past is safe. The present is still. Sleep well.
Disclaimer: while the historical accounts detailed here are grounded in rigorous research, we have integrated AI generated imagery to provide a vivid window into the past. Please note that these visuals are intended as creative interpretation rather than precise historical documentation. Our primary objective is to offer an engaging, immersive educational journey through history.